And we are live! Hiya, everyone! Rosaton Nightshade is early today! Thanks for being here early. Your exchange with me made me laugh. Hi, Ikachu! You as well! I'm getting used to people coming over early. How am I doing? I'm doing quite well. How have you been? Managed to be here bright and early, so I'm ready to finish this case. I'm on vacation, so I can be here early. Yeah, you told me that before. At least I'm less tired than yesterday. I really hope I can have more people showing up earlier after the Ace Attorney streams are over. Because I always take a break after each game. But doesn't matter. If you guys are also here for the Ace Attorney only, then that's fine by me. People always you will try to? Aw, thank you. Alrighty. So I'm just being lonely. Aw. No worries. Everyone on the internet is lonely in some capacity. I mean, I started streaming too to just talk to people. Also to just, like, try to see if I can do this. I'm actually pretty proud of myself that I made all of this. Not everything, but I made the model, I made the outfit, I made my own overlays, that kind of stuff. So, in that aspect, I'm pretty proud of myself. Let's see if we can start. Stinky objection? What? Do you object to me being a pretty good streamer? Probably not, but... let's just start, shall we? Oh, I'm so looking forward to this. We're gonna take Dorian down today. But this is gonna be tricky, I think. If you get stuck, I'll try to help again. Yeah, the rule is it only help if I ask for it, so. It will become pretty clear if I need help or not. I tend to become pretty desperate. Okay. July 10, 9:49 a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 2. Well, this is it. Today's the day it all goes down. And then there was yesterday. The disaster. This meeting is over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy. We're leaving. Dorian, wait! I never liked you. Either of you. Huh? Yeah, why did he say that? Dorian, we were so close! He was about to tell us! Hey, Apollo. He didn't want us to hear what Machi had to say. So we have to pull Machi in court. And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. I love how he still uses the catchphrase. Bah! Ah! What was that? He is hurt, but unseen. Who's that talking? The magician! Valent Grimari! I exclaimed as he walked in through the door. Normally. It is still an epic entrance with your course to steal, Apollo. You aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valent? A preposterous proposition. How could I stand to stand upon the stand? Why, my secrets will be free from the plucking. Hi, Neru! Welcome to the stream! Oh, today we're gonna take down our main suspect. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Ooh, it's vanishing magic? Indeed! I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. In other words, you are going to run away like a coward. I'm a big fan of this guy. I like his vibes. Yeah, me too. I like his showy vibes. I like those more flashy characters too. But before I go, a word of warning.
Warning? What?
A grand Gromari glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. Okay, so it has to do with his magic trick. A glamour. A spell. A sorcery. A great illusion. Mistrucy. Though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell!
And there he goes.
He sure seems happy about that illusion thing.
Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show without one. The big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. Usually it involves cutting up things like people or the Eiffel Tower. Anything, really.
Oh my gosh. I also still haven't finished the next case, so I'm gonna have to speed up my own playthrough. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to race each other, that neighbor, huh? Started watching Magic Kaito the anime. Found reminds me of the main character there. I don't know my anime, so I will have to check out the trailer for that one. Still love how he just skipped town to avoid having to testify. Yeah, I noticed that immediately. He just goes, I'll just take a train. And it's just like, a what? It's your magic trick. But then my magic will be ruined. So he was talking about what we saw at the concert.
Lamoir's disappearing act.
And Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar.
I wonder what he meant by it being at the root of all that has happened.
Well, it's about time. Shall we go? Excuse me, sir. Yes? The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed.
What? Why?
To be fair, knowing prosecutors and defense attorneys in these games, they would force him to spell it all. I mean, yeah. But the truth will come out, whether it is from his mouth or someone else's. But the starting time has changed? The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 a.m. Sorry for the inconvenience. Huh? Did something happen? This is a first. It was by the judge's request. Some urgent personal business.
Oh.
Ah, great. I bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas. I mean, everyone needs to have a hobby after work. Apparently he's visiting the hospital again. The hospital? Oh, right, he told us about that last time. I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently his condition worsened considerably this morning. The Chief Justice's son.
Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go visit him after the trial.
There's an article about it in the newspaper. If you care to read about it yourself. Article about the Chief Justice's son who is inflicted with incuritis, huh? Incuritis. Where have I heard that before? Apollo, you really don't remember. Remember that one puzzle in Rise from the Ashes where we had to make the jar look like... Ah! Son Goku, why? You made me cringe! I still remember. Yeah, they did not put a bunch of evidence of fictional disease names. Yeah, that's true. It is incurable, so that's why we call it incuritis.
I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV guide page to me.
Try not to lose the page with the funnies if you can. It's his favorite part of the newspaper, after all. July 10, 10:30 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of... how do you say this name again? Machitabai, our suspect Fortissimo. Right. It's his trial in any case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to rock. Heck yeah. Is something wrong, Your Honor? No. Well, yes. It's just... I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time.
Aww.
I'm happy that you have friends outside of work, Judge. I mean... Or just work friends, I guess. It's just sad. I didn't know where I was going with that.
Incuritis, was it? That oracle said there is no known cure.
Hey, Judge, let me say, with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law. Indeed. We left off at quite a juncture yesterday. I asked Interpol about that number. IPXX 314206. The agent registered under this number. It was Romain Latouche. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Croissant. It's a great help. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be handing out. Oh, right. While this flashback is happening... Hey, everyone have had a chance to finish yesterday's VOD, so I'm gonna be super lost about what's going on. How is everyone? Hi, Wigan. Welcome to the stream. You haven't missed much, but everything will be explained probably by flashbacks. As there are a lot of those in this case. I heard the gunshots fired. Yeah, it was Dorian. No way. Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought Dorian would guest star in the season's cliffhanger as a suspect? I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings. Dorian Crescent is a member of my band, the Gavners. He is also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case or file new charges.
Really?
And your reason is? Weren't you aware, Hair Forehead? He has an impeccable alibi. Ah, right. An alibi. Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The Gavners ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guests took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Lamorar, and Machi, along with a drummer and bassist, for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the 3rd set. Lamorar and the defendant, Machi Tobai, had left the stage at that point, and the Gavners were already rocking. Okay. We have to prove how Dorian could have shot him. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Sky, mind you.
And Apollo, you heard them too, right?
I sure did. Furthermore, Lamorar herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime, when she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Crescent talking. But that's impossible! Detective Crescent was! Precisely. Detective Crescent was on stage, getting his groove on, no less. Voila! A perfect alibi! Does the defense have anything to add to this? It's true, when I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up. It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Dorian Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged. Which means that Lamorar was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true. Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections.
Uh-oh, Apollo, if he declares a verdict now... Ugh!
But Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight. Lamorar might have been lying to protect Machi. How can I have a lie on their testimony? Wait, what about yesterday in the detention center? Which would you say was the more infamous case in universe, DL6 or like, the impact on the world itself, I'm not gonna have to say SL9, but for the game, like, in the framework of the game itself, I will have to say DL6 because it's been built up way more. Because SL9 is a DL6 case. It's a DLC case. Ah, right. Machi wanted to tell us something. And Darian interrupted. So, we have to put him on the stand immediately. We're gonna have to interrogate him. Machi was trying to tell us something. I know it. Maybe the best thing to do is ask him under oath. Very well. The court finds the defendant. What was his name again? Objection! Your Honor! Oh my gosh! Did we just dodge a verdict? No, that wasn't it. It was something like Marquis or Mr. Justice. Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... I do. The defense calls defendant Machi Tobai to the stand. What? But he doesn't speak English. We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak as few phrases such as I love you and where is the toy? Always the perfect phrase to know if you learn another language. The defense would like to request Lamorar as the interpreter. Lamorar? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant. But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie? This is most unusual. Bravo, Hair Forehead. Head Judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense's request. If Lamorar lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that. Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, I see little cause for refusal. Finally, some progress. Bailiff, please show the defendant and Lamorar to the witness stand. Okay, good first step. How did SL9 have more impact on the world than DL6? With DL6, it was only like the scandal of Prosecutor Von Karma being a criminal. With SL9, it is the Chief of Police and the Chief Prosecutor who were colluding in a corruption scandal. So that kind of scandal will be more scandalous. I don't know, I'm bad at explaining, but I would imagine that's giving way more of like a shock to the world instead of like DL6 where only like a famous prosecutor is convicted of a crime. That's my opinion on it. I suppose there's a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with. If you would, Lamorar. Yes. He says Machi Tobai, the defendant. This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really needed an interpretation of that message in particular. So far so good. Very well, Mr. Justice, if you would. Huh? If I would, what, Your Honor? Apollo! We have to prosecute him. No, not What am I saying? We have to cross-examine him. With what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about? What do I want to testify about? Okay, I haven't thought of that for you. Apollo, sheesh. Apollo, aren't you going to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday? How can I if I don't know what he was saying? Excuse me a moment, if I might speak. Yes, Lamorar. Just now, Machi said there is something about which he wishes to testify. Machi wants to testify about something. What could it be? What sort of testimony is he talking about? One moment, please. The suspense is killing me. What? What? Well, Lamorar. According to Machi, he has proof of his innocence. What? Oh my gosh. Okay. Proof of his innocence. This is good. This is a surprise. Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it! This is sounding too good to believe. And I know what that usually means. Bracelets. Well, if that's true, then this is final testimony. Lamrar, I mean Machi, please testify to the court.
Very well.
Okay. Witness testimony. Proof of innocence.
He says that word of Mr. Latus's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, that is, he could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. Because the lyric...
Wait a sec. I am having a flashback myself. The bracelet reacted when we were alone in the room with him.
Did he understand us?
I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely. I wonder what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask Lamrar to know the meaning of that song. Lamrar, did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him?
I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked.
Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? Lamrar might be protecting the witness. I tend to agree with Clavier on that one. But how do we prove it? Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would. Yes, Your Honor.
Something's hidden in that testimony, I know it.
I just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where.
It worked yesterday, it'll work today.
It has reacted to him. So, I think I know what to do.
We followed the lyrics of my song.
He could not have done it. That because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. I think he's lying. Oh, I can see his eyes! Interesting. Maybe the eyes are the thing. I saw it! I saw it! I saw it! Gotcha. He glanced! Are in English. Machi, you can't fool my eyes. You glanced toward her the very moment Lamrar said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me. Machi, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you?
What are you saying? Of course he can't.
Must he continue this charade?
Mr. Justice, Machi says this. I know the word English.
Huh?
Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language, that is all.
What? Give me a break!
Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance?
Well, yeah, but...
I'm sorry, but it truly does not understand your language.
Well, then explain this. How does he know the crime followed the lyrics?
Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple. So simple, it hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper.
The newspaper?
The Borginian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days, you know? They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland.
I was right.
What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes, they're quite fierce all of a sudden.
Machi's lying. Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's lying. I have a copy of the Borginian Daily Bugle right here. It makes sense. The chief of police and the chief prosecutor in a corruption scandal will be more shocking than a prosecutor committing murder. Yeah. That was my point, but more clearly put. Anyway, article about the case. It doesn't mention the lyrics. Yeah, this is it. It doesn't mention the lyrics. I have here a Burgundian newspaper. The Burgundian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there is a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Machi? He sighed immediately. That's right. It doesn't mention the lyrics.
What? What is this all about?
I'm sorry, Machi. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in the Burgundian newspaper. Okay. Okay, good first step. He understands English. What does this mean? I don't see how it's possible. Ah, I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes. Not possible. The subject of the lyrics was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. So the lyrics weren't in the newspaper and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. In English, no less. Yeah, we're on to him. The witness will explain herself. Himself.
Machi says. He says...
Oh, I see that hesitation. Yes?
It is true, I read the newspaper. But this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember.
You remember?
He says he heard the lyrics from me.
You said just 3 seconds ago that you only spoke to them generally. What? Is this true, Lemuroir?
Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself.
It looks like her forehead's been jumping to conclusions again. Seems so, yes. No! I was onto something, I know it! I can't let this chance slip away! Time is an issue today. Mr. Justice, are you finished with the cross-examination? No.
What are you going to do, Apollo?
If I'm going to keep on cross-examining, I better have an angle of attack. Or else... My bracelet's still reacting! And I know! Lemuroir is lying this time. Your Honor, please allow me to continue. If you must, you must. Very well, witness.
I understand. It was I who explained that the crying followed the song.
I need to watch your habits again. Go to the throat. I think I missed it. I need to hear it again. There it is! I was too slow.
Gotcha!
It was I who explained. It's not true. Lemuroir, I'm currently cross-examining Machi. Why should you be uncertain?
Me? Uncertain?
Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court. It was I who explained.
I see there's little point in trying to hide anything from you.
Lemuroir, are you indeed protecting someone?
That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself.
Then allow me to answer for you. Lemuroir, you're protecting Machi.
Take that!
You're protecting Machi all along. Lemuroir, you're protecting Machi. That's why you lied and told us that you had explained how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way. Machi, I believe you didn't do it, really. I trust you. But you've lied to us twice. And now you have Lemuroir lying on your behalf. If this is going to work, you have to trust me too. Your 2 lies cover a simple truth. You understand English. You have to. Oh my god, that was in English! How can you scream in English and scream in Burgundian? Witness, is this true? Do you understand English?
Yes, a little only.
Oh no. What? First you could see, and now you can talk. And you did not know about this, Lemuroir.
No, I did not. It is quite a surprise.
How many secrets is this witness hiding?
This is last.
Machi, could you tell us what really happened?
No shooting! I did no shooting!
So, you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those 2 gunshots, correct? Wait, you were in there? Apparently, the answer to that question isn't simple either.
I was in dressing room, behind desk. Manager, he on floor.
Which would be after the shooting, right? Then there is voice. Voice? Or voices? Was it you and Emma, Apollo? So when Machi went into the dressing room, Mr. Latouche had already made a shot. Oh my gosh, the child was left with a dead body in the room? Oh no! I feel bad for Machi. Me too! Oh my gosh. And then we came to the door. The panel high up. I take off. Run away! Run away! So it was you who escaped through that air vent. The noise wasn't from closing a door, it was from the vent! As the prosecution has upheld all along, no less. The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession? No. No, he's clearly denied that he did it. I know shooting. Manager on floor. Already on floor.
Objection!
The victim had already been shot, you say? I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the center of the crime. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter. Oh. Does the defendant have anything to say to this? He's too stressed. He's too stressed. He's clammed up, Apollo. And let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness? Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about? Wait, no. Of course there is. The cocoon! I'm also surprised Red White didn't use the SL9 to blackmail someone like Lana. Well, maybe. Sorry to leave early, Miss Mia, but I'm going to bed. I have internship painfully. No worries. Rosenthal, any people stopping by is totally welcome. Hope you have a good internship. Assuming Damon Gant cleans up after himself. Yeah. Maybe we will see evening colludes with Red White, I don't know. Good luck. Aw, thank you. Bye-bye. Not to mention being a lot more threatening. Yeah, that's also true. The cure for incuritis. Are you a smuggler? Wait. Why did he climb up on that? That cocoon has to have something to do with this. Machi, please tell us the truth for your own sake. No more speak. Not to any of you. So much for your precious trust, Her Forehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse. Indeed. It does seem that the defense and defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant, so that we might proceed. Okay. Machi, we need to talk! Immediately! Okay. District Court Defendant Lobby, number 2. Apollo Eustace. That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some. Oh my gosh, Apollo! This is a child! A child that barely speaks English! Jeebus, Apollo! Believe, I know shooting! Machi claims Mr. Latouche was already down on the ground when he entered the room. Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it. Suddenly, I hear revolver. Close, very close. Then I hear voice. You heard gunshots? Yes, it's true. I hear revolver, but only sound. Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room and found Mr. Latouche already dead and then you heard some shots? How is that possible? If that's true... So, you were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots? One thing that keeps surprising me is how no one brings up how young Machi is while he's alleged to have done. Yeah, he's younger than Trucy. This poor child. They make him out to be like a serial killer. Oh my gosh. And you escaped through the air vent. I know. Huh? What do you know? I know if I opening vents, I can leave stage and backstage. So the Svens went to both the stage and the backstage area. Is that what he means?
Hey, that's right! Look, Apollo!
Huh? Oh! But how did you know it was connected to that?
Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something.
No, I don't think that's it. I hear this from Magician. From Valent.
Don't look at me!
Magician, huh?
Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Machi didn't shoot Mr. Latouche.
Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find the body and then he heard the shots? That one's going to go over well in court. Not.
Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says, even lies. That's what Daddy always told me.
I'll just pretend you misheard him. Every time. Oh my gosh, Apollo just doesn't trust Phoenix at all. So, what do we do?
You sure you won't testify, Machi?
No talking. No.
Well, it was worth a shot.
That cocoon. He has something to do with it. You know, if Emma Sky is in this game, I wish that Lana Sky was in the game as well. Yeah, I haven't seen Lana yet. Maybe a missed opportunity, but nah. Maybe they can explain that she's still in jail or something. Or maybe she just wants nothing to do with the court system anymore. I can't go home to Burginia. I do not want to go home? Penalty for taking the cocoon for Burginia is death. That's why he won't talk. Of course, he's scared. Oh well, I guess we'll have to try a different approach.
That's the spirit, Apollo. So what's your plan?
If Machi won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify.
Someone else?
Ooh! If it has to do with the magic trick, Lamorar is the key part to that. I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there.
Right!
Alrighty! We shall now solve a magic trick in this court. Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out for the defendant? Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk. Very well. So will he testify? No. Your Honor, the defendant will not testify. What? Shame. And here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Oh, don't count me out just yet. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor. A different angle? If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lamorar. Lamorar? Objection! Of course he objects. What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamorar's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamorar was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries. What happened? She was assaulted, Your Honor. Assaulted? Oh my gosh! How did I forget? Oh my gosh, we found her in a guitar case and everything. How did I forget? Someone wanted Lamorar dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I've heard no such report. Prosecutor Gavin. Why would anyone be out to kill Lamorar? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she's known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been? You don't think? I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her. Afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. Okay. So, am I to understand that this is what you're saying? Namely, that there is a nugget of truth in Lamorar's testimony. A nugget we have yet to uncover. Exactly. If Lamorar was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in the testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamorar's testimony once more. Okay. This is good. Lamoror, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak.
You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all that I can until the court realizes this.
Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window. And that the voice belonged to Darien Crescent, yes?
That is correct.
At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof. And that is the thing that we have to change. You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice. I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something there. There is, it seems. Much you do not know. And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness will be so kind as to testify once more to the court.
Of course, Your Honor.
Okay. Witness testimony. What I heard.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard them. Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window.
Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony.
I am sorry. I am not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth.
Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lamoror was attacked because of this testimony. Yeah, that's true. What, Trucy?
Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, for once in this life he was cool. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead. Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you could coolly cross-examine the witness. Okay. Why were you silent?
Is something wrong?
I know I said hold it, but she's saying the same thing she said before. Mr. Justice!
Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with your testimony.
Now I know what they mean about the reckless youth these days. The one in red over there is a shining example here, Judge. You're the last person who should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Darien Crescent.
I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him. The one who took the stand yesterday.
How many times do I need to remind you that's impossible? There is no way you could have heard him. Because the window at the scene was closed. Is that why? Of course.
Apollo, if you keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere.
She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. What were they talking about? Did you hear anything else? What were they talking about? Lamoror, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us.
I have given it much reflection, but...
I was afraid of it. She doesn't remember.
I only heard one phrase clearly.
Oh? A whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday?
Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said.
This could be it. The clue I've been waiting for. Well, what did he say?
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche.
The shooter, then. Darien Crescent. Well, what did he say? Don't leave us in suspense. What did he say?
It's over. Press the switch. Now.
The switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latouche.
I thought it quite strange myself afterward.
It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this? I mean, sure, it's a very, very vital. Maybe we could add that to the testimony.
Maybe, Apollo?
Not maybe, for sure. Press the switch. Like the switch I have right here.
Objection!
Bingo. Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch. Save the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene. But it just so happens I have a switch right here. That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it? The problem is... this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage. The stage? Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there. On the stage. Are you claiming that the voice Lamra heard was there someone commanding another to press the switch? It's a possibility. Someone on stage? Oh, Hair Forehead? I'd call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert hall. The stage is quite far from Lamra's dressing room. Not to mention that the Governors were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We are known for being a quiet band. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So too have Hair Forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said. Or do you need me to shout it for you with my cords of steel? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? Using this, it will be easy to get a message to someone on stage from the dressing room. Da-da-da-da! That was easy. Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this. Why that's... What is it? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they invented? Well, I wasn't lucky. Oh my gosh. I was already shocked that phones could flip. And now this! This is a type of transmitter, a communications device. Communications device. Hi, Ishmeru80. Welcome to the stream. Love the old school judge. Judge your old man, this is showing indeed. From what I've heard, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually. Therefore, talking between band members. We all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple. Oh my gosh. Last time Judge needed to get hold of someone, he used Morse code. Or like a fax machine. Wait, did the fax machine come before or after the cell phone? I don't remember. Hi, Opal Phoenix. Welcome to the stream. It is time to switch things around indeed. What is it now? True, but wait. Those sent out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, their range is quite limited. Lamar said it was about 30 feet, right? Look at this cross-section diagram of the concert forum. Ah, exactly. The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far. But the direct distance is less than 30 feet. That can be. It is. So when Lamar heard the shooter's voice, he would have been talking to someone on stage. I hope you're having a good stream. Yeah, I am having a good stream. I'm winning. Huh, you're claiming this is a switch in question? Why did it have to be on the stage at the time? It could be placed in the pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hit it on the stage after the fact. Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch? Well, I guess we don't. An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch is, there's little point in debating it. Ugh. I was sure this was the way to go with this. What is this switch anyway? You don't even know that basic fact. I know. Wait a second. I do know that what this switch is. If you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about the switch, right? We know what it is. It is an igniter switch. Yeah? Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning the switch. Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Justice?
I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what the switch is.
Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking this switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain what this switch is?
Here's an igniter for you. Prosecutor Gavin, you remember this? Is that...
The what? Is it another one of those newfangled phones?
Judge, that's clearly not a phone. This is an igniter. What phone looks like this? Indeed.
Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter?
Yes, actually.
You aren't saying this switch is a remote.
I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter.
What? Look, I'll show you. Yeah. Mr. Justice, you will cease and desist from burning down the courtroom.
Sorry, that was a bit more fire than I expected. My younger brother got one of those Nokia things. Such amazing technology. Judge, hand me that blanket. I got the fire going. It's smoking well. I'm gonna come. Oh my gosh.
If my whiskers had caught on fire.
Oh god, now that would be a flaming beard, huh? A beard that was on fire, indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote igniter trigger. Doesn't that suggest something to you?
You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you?
Exactly, that night at the concert there was one unusual burst of flame. In the second act, not the third! That's the... When your guitar caught fire in the middle of a performance.
Wasn't that part of the stage show, though?
Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned. And the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake. That's right, he got it in Borginia from Laveroir. He said the sound was amazing. Before it burned, of course. No, it's just kind of smokes. Well...
The better the guitar, the brighter it burns.
Her forehead.
Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice heard by Laveroir. And the guitar suddenly catching on fire.
I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Latouche and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed and the guitar caught fire.
Well, that does seem to make sense. Though something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put the finger on it.
The murder was committed on the third act, not the second. Really? It seems pretty simple to me.
Hair forehead, don't destroy what little respect I have for you.
Wait, he respected us?
I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong. What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin?
His simple story simply makes no sense. Think, that night my guitar caught fire, yes. The cause? May have been this indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set. That's right, of course! The guitar caught fire during Laveroir's song. Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. Hey, you've got respect for us at all, which is more than we expect. Yeah, I mean, Ashford would never say that to Phoenix. The two are utterly unrelated.
Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty.
See, his story makes no sense. No. Are you sure about that?
What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice?
Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far.
What premise is this specifically?
I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act.
Objection!
What's this? But Detective Emma Sky heard shots and found the body. All this happened in the third act.
Objection!
Gunshots rang out. And according to his testimony, Machi was in that dressing room at the time.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice? Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony. Namely that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane. Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. We know that a remote-triggered igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can draw only one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance. The second act! What? Oh my gosh. Order, order, order! But that goes against the evidence. What does, Your Honor? The crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes?
Hey, he's right, look! The bullet is supposed to come after the fire.
You're thinking about it the wrong way.
Huh?
Look, why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through.
I mean, yeah, that actually does make sense.
With little merit for the person doing it. Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason.
Yes, they did.
A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying the order was reversed on purpose? Reverse, Prosecutor Gavin. If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting would have had to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet her forehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he followed the lyrics the whole way. The crime didn't take place during the third act. The true crime really took place when the prosecution did propose to the defense on our date.
Oh my gosh, Strap Streams.
Oh, that was amazing. Welcome to the stream. Order, order, order. That would explain this most unusual situation. It does. The killer changed the events in order to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not the second. Objection! Okay. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song. But I question your logic. For it's flawed from the very beginning.
Flawed?
Yes, a contradiction here, Forehead. One I've pointed out several times, no less. At the time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. How could Lamorar have heard a voice through it?
Oh.
I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise.
Right.
Lamorar's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice.
What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo?
No, that's not true. Look, what do we have? A man saying press the switch. And near the crime scene, we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be coincidence. But how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime scene was investigated, immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Can't you tell us how Lamorar heard the voice? A key point, to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court? Okay, Justice, you've got one thing to prove and one thing only. Lamorar heard a voice. And she heard it during the second set. But she was on stage in the second set. She was somewhere else. She couldn't have been. She was on stage during the second set. When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it. It hadn't been open either. Meaning it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Ah, it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment, I was afraid you might be a Borginian too.
What?
As I was saying, Lamora could not hear the voice through that window. So there can be only one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. What's this? You do amuse me so. And here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Now I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different languages.
No, I think I know where he is going with this.
Shall I interpret for you here, Forehead? Lamora clearly stated she heard the voice through that small window.
And there's only one small window at the scene.
Are you sure?
Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? There is?
Ah, I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well. You claim Lamora heard the voice from another location. Mr. Justice, show us where this location was.
Lamora heard the voice from here. Vents. R. This is where Lamora heard the voice from. Yay, I did it.
But there's no small window. That's an air vent.
What did she tell us? She said she's a Borginian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window.
Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous.
She vented in the med bay, Your Honor.
So Lamora was up in the ventilation system listening to this man's voice?
That's the only logical explanation, yes.
Logical? I do not think this word means what you think it means, Herr Forehead.
Okay, what about it isn't logical?
Ha! It hardly merits saying.
Why would Lamora be in the ventilation system?
Hiding like a rat. No offense intended to her, of course.
The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamora?
You have been listening to our discussion here, yes?
Yes. I admit, it's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed. But why should that mean I could not hear through it? I feared our prosecutor might himself need an interpreter.
Oh!
The problem here is words.
Lamora, the small window through which you heard the voice, was it up high on the ceiling of the room? Not low on the wall?
Yes, it was up on the ceiling.
What?
I like when Gavin's shocked. Objection, leading the witness. No, this is in our favor. Shh.
Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you, in fact, saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room? And that's when you heard the moment of the crime?
Yes, in fact I was. I'm sorry, I never imagined it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? She's not gonna say. Yeah, we don't seem caught off guard enough. Yeah, it's so entertaining.
I believe it's time for another testimony.
I'm not sure I can't.
May I remind you this is a murder trial. We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please.
Well, looks like I'm on the right track, at least. Edgy Boy was slamming the desk with a furious expression constantly, and that was way funnier. Can't a woman even have a strange interest in crawling around inside ventilation systems without being attracted to a current ribbon? Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I had heard there was a small window there before. I was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to record what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter.
God forbid women have any fun. Bound to secrecy.
In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold.
But you say you were in the middle of your performance. So this did happen during the second set.
I did not witness the crime, you must understand. I only know what I heard.
Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing, in detail.
That's what the cross-examination is for, yeah, Herr Forehead?
Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission.
Ah, Magician's Pact.
Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
What are you going to do, Apollo?
I'm going to find out the truth.
She was up above that ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it out of her.
It was for the magician's trick, but how do I point that out? Maybe I need to... Yes, that checks out. As to why I was there, I cannot say. But you have to get that out of her. You heard the gunshots during the second set, during your performance. You're quite sure?
Yes. Why would I lie about the time?
Why didn't you tell us this yesterday?
No one asked me.
Serious, Lamberer?
I thought you all knew. I told you Machi was not the killer. I told you this many times.
Yes, you did. But you never told us why.
I am sorry. I was not able to speak of it.
Unable or unwilling?
She's not talking, Apollo. What do we do?
We'll just have to prove it ourselves. As long as she is bound by this pact of silence, she won't talk. But if I can prove why she was up there, she'll have to admit it.
But how are you going to do that? She was singing on the stage, Apollo. She could have been up above the ceiling, too.
Yes, she could. I've got a theory as to why, too. And maybe I've got the evidence to prove it. Okay, so it is that statement. Okay. What will show that this was for the magic trick? What will show it was for the magic trick? This doesn't show like a passageway yet. Clearly the answer is Arthur. No, I am not going to do that. I am scarred by the last time I almost was put to jail. I'm not gonna take any risks. Tape recording. Let me see. I think I know exactly what the problem is. Or what the thing is. Yes, this is it. She disappeared for the magic trick. So, this one?
Objection! Yes!
Lamberer, truth be told, the reason for your presence above that ceiling is quite clear. Lamberer, did you know I am a lawyer? Mr. Justice, this is the 7th time you showed your badge to the witness. Stratsies, my gosh, I am in a tense moment. Oh my gosh. Especially when you consider what happened during your performance.
What happened?
Yes, it's all right here on this video. The video I already showed you guys.
Stratsies is more on fire than Clavia's guitar today.
My gosh, you guys are some singers today. To be fair, she can't see the badge, and I doubt we're allowed to hand it to her for her to touch. Oh my gosh. It was for the magic trick. What I'm impressed by is how that cape landed exactly where it needed to be. Like... Oh, maybe it was moved by cords. That could be it. Invisible strings. That was the thing that amazed me the most. The perfect setting of that cape. Yeah, it could be the strings. Oh, poor Clavier. I always say that when I see him just trying to put the guitar out. As we can see, Lamberer was clearly on stage for her entire performance. Ah. Though it says me to be so realistic, Lamberer isn't capable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So the only explanation is that she was hidden from view. And during that time, she moved to the back of the forum.
Apollo?
What, Trissie?
It's not nice to reveal a magician's secrets, and it's against the rules.
But I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to be nice.
Wow!
This is all very fascinating. But how is this possible? There is only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast.
Oh, but maybe he knows.
Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin?
This was his concert, his show.
He knows how the illusion was performed. Aha!
He's just realizing his own oversight. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here, we can trace a route through the ceiling.
There we go! It goes from the stage through the backstage to the rear of the platform. Oh!
Recall Lamroar's testimony from yesterday.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it.
She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of this route above the ceiling. Lamroar knew of this because of her part in the illusion. But she wasn't the only one who knew.
What?
Just now in the lobby, Machi told me something.
Yes! I know. I know if opening vents, I can leave stage and backstage. He said that? Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? Oh, he's sweating bullets.
I knew about the Vanishing Act, of course. Yet I had no idea of the route that would be used.
Why did the magician tell me?
Magicians only reveal details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know?
Which is why he bound Lamroar to secrecy. Well, Lamroar?
I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Machi was right about you.
So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used this route above the ceiling?
I did.
Well, that's that, but I'm still a little confused.
Wait until Trucy learns how Phoenix ruined an entire gimmick that a magician relies on for his career because Maya and Pearl wanted to go to the Oh yeah! He did accidentally reveal the trick for Maximilian Galacticus flying. Why is that, Your Honor?
As I said before.
Yeah.
There was very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds tops. How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice.
That's a good question.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I cannot.
Very well, Mr. Justice.
Yes?
It's all up to you. Do your thing.
What thing, Your Honor?
You need to explain how Lamroar was able to teleport like she did. Or throw your case out with the bathwater.
Why do I get picked on? It's Lamroar who is going along with the program here.
As I have stated before, I am not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail.
Then, you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it will be your job to wring the truth out of her.
Yes, if you would, please.
Right. I feel like a student before finals.
Good luck, Apollo!
Your Honor, it's the job of the prosecution to point out the flaws in my ideas, not you! Yeah. I mean, I think the judge is just really curious about the magic trick. The witness loves crawling around inside the ventilation pipes. She's an expert at zooming around in them, obviously.
I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There is an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice.
Okay.
2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens.
I suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something. I mean, it is obvious what the contradiction is here. She moved in 2 minutes, but the footage only showed 20 seconds. Given how excited he was during the big top one, I say I agree. Like, she already admitted she was in the vents. We don't need to explain exactly why. But we need to explain why she was so fast.
as does my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice.
Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find a contradiction between what Lamar is saying and what we can see plainly in the video.
I figured it out already. I'm a magician after all.
Then why don't you tell us, Trucy?
Well, tell me. Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secrets. Come on.
Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone is such trying to keep the magic alive. But I will have to hear something about the 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, what is up with that? Juicy, if you don't spill it, this person will go to jail. But the magician's secrets! Ventilation pipes are made of metal. She obviously covered herself in fast. She laid down and pushed someone going wee. That was explained why she was so shiny in the foot. Oh my gosh. Anyway, 2 minutes.
Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you're running.
Running? In that cramped dark tunnel above the ceiling?
Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me.
Ah, that's true, but...
So you're saying that on the night of the concert, you made the trip in 2 minutes?
Yes, though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway.
Lamar disappears on the video for 20 seconds. But she says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How?
If you want my professional opinion, I'll bet the answer's right there in that video.
Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us. Something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and her testimony.
What was... No, wrong one. What was up with the video? Let me see again. What is up? What is in the video? It is gonna be another Badger moment, isn't it? But this one is penalized. So I... A tiny little detail indeed, Pikachu. I noticed it too. Ugh. Evidence explaining the discrepancy. We have it. There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between the video and the testimony. She dropped the brooch. Lamar, do you happen to remember this brooch?
Aha! The brooch! We saw that yesterday, did we not?
It was found at the scene, Your Honor. And you're bringing this up now. Why? I thought we'd already determined when that was dropped. So did I. But we hadn't. Ah, yes. Take another look at the video. That was the detail. I don't think you pronounced brooch as brooch. Tomato! Let me say the word brooch. Here, you can see she's wearing the brooch.
So she is.
Let's look a bit later. Does brooch sound that much better than brooch? I find that brooch sounds much better than brooch.
What? The brooch is gone!
What? Yes, the brooch disappeared in a short space of 20 seconds. And it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. I thought it was brooch? Says you like it. Okay. I thought I was saying, oh, brooch. Another tomato. Tomato. I prefer potatoes over brooch. When you can boil and mash a sticky stew, the other is jewelry. Oh my gosh, we're getting off track. I need to stop. Which means there can be only one explanation. The Lamar we see before the vanishing act and the Lamar we see after.
are two different people? What? What? The brush we found on the floor at the crime scene. And not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. Lamoror, tell me, did you drop the brush on your way from the stage to the backstage? At the very moment you witnessed the crime?
Yes, I think I did.
Order! Prosecutor Gavin! From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case here, Judge. I, of course, knew about it. Of course, the perfectionist as you are. Your honor, they're taking the hobbits to Isengard. Stop! What? Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time. So I was right. There was a switch. There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, Lamoror was replaced. While we're on the subject, just who was his replacement Lamoror? Why, the man behind the illusion. Valet Grimari. What? Really? Oh, wow. It was Grimari? That's quite the illusion, but I still did get one thing.
Yes?
The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage.
That's right.
This, fake Lamoror is still singing. And she's pretty good. Yeah. He's a master magician. Of course he knows how to cross. Oh my gosh, what a statement, Nehru. I mean, yeah. That's true.
Come on, Apollo, that's an easy one. They're just playing a recording.
The Cavaners aren't some kind of air guitar band, for all I know.
Oh, you mean I'm wrong?
When we play a show live, we play live. No recordings. Perhaps you can explain, Lamoror.
Very well.
Yes, do tell, and add it to your testimony.
I had to keep singing.
Even while I moved? We're not air guitar fans for all light air guitars in quotes. Oh my gosh. But what? That doesn't make any sense. You weren't singing.
Yes. Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings. So I used this.
Wait, so you were singing the whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling towards the backstage?
Why should it matter where I sing, when everywhere I go is in the same darkness?
I mean, when you crouch over, isn't it more difficult to sing? Because you need to have your airways open, you know? But if you were singing while you were walking...
That's right, wouldn't the shooter and victim have heard? She was singing right over their heads after all.
That is right. Are you sure? It has to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling. Once again, we come back to the state of the scene of the crime. What state?
I know what he means, that old speaker, Apollo.
The speaker? Oh, the speaker was blaring at the time of the murder. That's surrounding the stage for this room. Yeah. Like we heard, the last song. I mean, it should matter when you're in an event and have everything get echoed by the metal. Not to mention how much that would likely mess with anything allowing you to broadcast your voice. Yeah. That is a very weird vent. Maybe they... maybe the magician, like, covered the vent in some kind of material or something. I don't know. Satisfied. That dressing room was fitted with a large speaker playing a direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually. So Lamoror singing in the ceiling sounded just like Lamoror singing over the speaker? Ingenious! Her voice was hidden by her voice.
Lamoror, I have just remembered something.
Do tell.
When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes? It startled me, so I stopped singing.
You stopped? What?
I forgot the words I was supposed to sing.
The song stopped.
Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse. So not many would notice.
The fence were completely covered in magic hats and bunnies, perhaps. Wouldn't that create a weird echo and acoustics? Guess we'll just hand wave it. Yeah, we'll hand wave it, I guess. Honestly, that's a good way to hide it. But also, what if you're by a speaker while in the ceiling? The audience would like hear a double version of you. I watch so many people play this game, I also forget where each person is, that I see the same scene again and I'm like, oh, she hasn't done this part yet. And this is when the writers realize they do nothing about ventilation, Your Honor. Forehead, that mixing board I lent you, where is it? The mixing, huh?
That machine, Apollo, the one that breaks music into tracks.
Oh, this! I completely forgotten about it. Okay, we have also a mixing for the guitar serenade. Let's take a listen.
How many times do I have to hear this song?
I mean, it is vital for people to follow along, but... A lot? Oh gosh, no. Your Honor, the writers were focused on making compelling mystery, not with logic. Well, time for my verdict, yeah, then guilty. It's why this case is so infamous? Because of the vents? I suppose the speaker might have been quiet enough to not be picked up by the audio. I mean, Gavin did say it was blaring. The song does stop there. It does? It does? I must have missed it. You know, because of the song over and over. Oh, that's okay. Because we have to see this clip over and over again. I mean, it happened the same with the Blue Badger clip. Gosh dang it. Or that stupid face. What I remember, this case is as infamous as the Apollo set the same way Big Top was for Phoenix. Reminds me of the evidence room in the video bonus case of Game 1. Oh gosh, you saw me play that neighbor. I was so frustrated. It's on YouTube, by the way. But I don't think this case is... I think this case is better than Big Top, in my opinion. But, see where it says pleasure, pleasure. Oh, I see it, I see it. Now listen again. She only said pleasure once. Ba-da-da-da-da. I need to try to find the old forums, but when this game came out, I remember people saying insane terms, and this reminded them of Big Top. Yeah, I can see that, actually. This is evidence indeed. I believe we are guilty of making a terrible mistake. The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lammerar's ballad. If that is true, then no one on stage during the second set could have been the shooter. Which means that Darian Crescent could have done it. He wasn't on stage for the second set. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, he's hesitant because that's his bandmate. Fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen this trial turn around quite so thoroughly. Yet one problem remains. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? Her forehead theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it is entirely based upon Lammerar's testimony. Yes, is there a problem with this? Well, it's quite simple, though it pains me to say it. What if she's lying to protect the defendant? Are you serious? What if you are in denial? Objection! But you have no proof. All I'm saying is that the truth is yet unclear. Until we hear directly from the man himself. The man? You don't mean... We can finally have him on the stand! Yes! Yes. Though he is a friend and band member, Darian Crescent must take the stand. I see no other way. As someone with a new perspective on the case. As a suspect, to be frank. He finally admits it! Finally! The rat's coming out of his hole! And I'm ready to catch him. Darian Crescent, get ready for justice! This is as good a time as any to pause for a brief recess. The prosecution will summon the witness, having him here and ready at the time we begin. I'm the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are. Very well. Court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess. Okay. Also, I never found Big Top annoying. I genuinely loved it. Yeah, there were some good aspects about the case. I can agree with that. It was not the best one. There were some questionable elements to it, but the overall case was pretty solid. The whole series is great, but this is just the worst of them. I take it this is your least favorite case, Opal Phoenix. But I'm liking this case so far, mainly because of Clavier. Gavin, have you never seen the Phoenix Wright trial? The case always gets turned around this early. He has a point, to be honest, especially since this game value evidence over testimony. Yeah. Part of me feels like Gavin suspected it by this point, but needs Darian on the stand so he can try to get rid of his doubts. But then that's also me projecting on the characters. But that's fun about it, you know? Have your own interpretations. That's completely fine. That's how I enjoy my characters. Yes! Like headcanons and such is completely healthy.
Apollo, I can't believe it!
It really happened during the second act?
And right in the middle of Lamrore's performance?
The reasons why she was in the air vents. And that switch in the flaming guitar. When you link it all together, that's what you end up with. I can understand why they'd value evidence over testimony for this game, given what we were told Phoenix did during the intro trial. Oh, forging evidence, of course! I knew you had what it took. Oh, there you are! Where were you?
Ah, Daddy! Where were you?
Mr. Wright! You believed in me?
That's the first thing you ask.
Not really. Bruh. What? Huh? I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say, hiya. Why do I even bother hoping?
Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all.
Ah, sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission.
Secret? You mean like you're undercover?
Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed. I love Hobo Phoenix so much. I mean... I have weird mixed feelings because I was so attached to Phoenix in the previous trilogy and seeing him like this is so jarring. But I haven't really seen the cause of all of it yet, so... Someone should smack Phoenix. He clearly wasn't impressed by being hit with a car, so it's not like it'll hurt him. I really hope we can get a costume for the 3D games that is his hobo outfit. That would be cool. I gotta go deal with some dinner and check if I got people in my ventilation pipes. I'll be back in a bit. Yeah, no worries, going in.
Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy?
Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Dude, what? Huh? You're leaving already? Oh, one more thing before I go. What? Good luck. Okay. Legit, I like the casual look so much for him. He should wear the hat more. It's just so weird to me. I have been with this man for three games. Seeing him like this is so weird. He hasn't shaved! Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Machi to buy off the hook, no doubt.
Yeah,
But you're after that detective, aren't you? Darian Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely, that our diva divine is telling the truth.
But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch?
A piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain those things. The flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case.
But...
if the sultry songstress is lying, Your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck! And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from a detective friend. Detective Sky, Emma? Let's see, this bag of snacks here was meant for me. You sure? I'm sure that was meant for me. I could use a snack. Ah, here it is.
What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material.
They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder.
Gunpowder?
Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. That explains the shots during the third act! That were firecrackers?! I'm imagining he actually swiped the snacks from Emma rather than she gave them to him. On the other hand, Emma is a Phoenix fan, not Apollo. Yeah, that's true. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Right next to the igniter! Under the sofa.
Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy!
Right, this. Well, finally, some evidence that makes sense. Burned fragments added to the court record. I love that his hat has Emma's old pin. I never noticed that. That's all from me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darien Crescent's igniter and set it off. And he disappears. And he walked out the door. Just like a magician, normally.
What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean?
I guess you just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes.
I guess.
Well, also, maybe I like the casual hobo ride more because it's an easier look to cost. Ah, that's why! Don't have money for a custom-made blue suit? I mean, I made the suit myself out of scraps, so... Why do you think I have, like, red and blue scraps? I mean, they were part of the design, but I still couldn't find enough of the striped fabric. We're almost at the finish line. Hang on. Hang in there, Trucy. July 10th, 1:55 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. I'm realizing now that if I cosplay right, I'd go for this version more, but that's also because I like this form so much. Yeah, cosplay whatever you like. That's my motto. Court is now in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent? In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time. Oh, very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darien was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. Like his guitar playing. It fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. You have a bias, Gavin. Correct. Oh, I know. Hair forehead.
He's so pissed at us.
Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darien Crescent. Here you are. Name and occupation, please. Darien Crescent. Detective. Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division, for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Governors. Maybe you've heard of us. Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. Ooh! You gave me a word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Darien. And don't call me partner. Oh! So much for old friends. Lavia is very conflicted. Also, it's just me, or does the profile of Darien look like it's drawn in almost a different style than any of the characters in the room? I haven't noticed. It blends fine to me. I see what you're doing, Darien. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if you could begin the trial, please? Like when he's facing forward. Maybe. I will check. Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lamor's testimony. If, in fact, you have anything to say about it. Oh, I've got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Borginia. Shading looks so different to me, but that could be just another shadow from the hair, maybe. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Huh.
Conventional methods are out the window, huh?
Here goes nothing!
Maybe in the face a bit, but I don't know.
The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots. As if. Did Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man. Like, it reminds me of the early games when we get the images of the killing more in dramatic style before our case. Maybe. So you claim Lamar's testimony was a lie? Hey, don't get me wrong. I dig what she's doing, trying to protect a kid. And she's got the court eating fake statements out of her hand just because he's blind. You go too far, Darian. Look, all I'm saying is, you've got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Sky! I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. We can't do this with Lamar's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place.
Okay, yeah, it is the shadows making it look slightly more detailed.
See? I was right.
But what? Why is he focusing so much on Emma? Did Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots? Actually, I was there too. So I hear, which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots. Yes, we heard gunshots. Oh, I know what this presents. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you. Huh. I guess you and Lamar got the same excuse then. We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from that room during the third set. What we must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots.
Machi heard them too. Remember, he said he ran from the air duct when he heard them.
So how do we figure out just what those gunshots during the third set were? I know exactly what I have to present. The burnt fragments, the firecrackers.
Objection!
Yes! Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's the remote triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt. Not another guitar, I hope. Traces of gunpowder were found on those fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. How did Gavin know about this? What, you think Detective Sky works for you? I received a report this morning before coming here.
That's when I made my decision, actually.
What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial.
Just in case.
Ah! He knew the moment he saw those fragments. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me. How so? So, you're saying those firecrackers just happened to go off right when two witnesses came walking by? Huh.
That's right! Darian was out on stage when it happened to Apollo. How would you know someone was backstage right then?
If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear, you get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man?
How do I explain this?
He may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself. And I saw something odd there before the third set.
Something odd?
A headset, the kind all of the band and staff members were wearing. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door of that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in the hallway! Oh my gosh, I didn't even catch that one. Even if you were out on stage! Darian, did you really think you could fool a prosecutor like Clavier? Oops. I'm reading comments wrong, I'm so shocked. Oh no. Even an amateur like Apollo could catch a crime, you stand no chance. Your Honor, have you noticed that the murderer always berates and laughs at the defense when we find a key item? Surely this should be proven. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in the court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Hair Forehead. I have a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still not closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake, we can't say. Ugh. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now I need to prove the other half of the case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while a little piano player was on stage. That right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove the crime took place in the second set?
Yeah, I think. You better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through.
It can be proven. Make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness, your testimony if you would.
This isn't going to be easy.
I need some decisive proof and fast. You ready, kid? Because I am. Shooting took place during the second set. If you're still sure, let's see your proof. Okay. Can the video tell me something? What was the moment? Wait a second. This was around when the shooting happened, I think. I noticed something. Can I check out the mixing board or something? Let me see. Shooting happens at pleasure. Yeah. Ah, right, because that's where she stumbled upon the words. Okay. Can I check out this motherboard? I can! Doop, doop. Okay. If you want pure audio, use the mixing board. It's right over here. Oh, it's the second part. Hear that again. Oh my god. I tried to be dramatic, but that came out as funny. It's this! Objection! Yes! It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lamoir's song. Her song? What exactly is this? The voice thingy. A new variety of gramophone brand.
Judge, no!
Come on, we just use this. And don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamoir's voice included. Oh ho! But what does this prove? According to Lamor's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. I already heard. Huh, ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage? Have you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We were all deeply involved in our performance. But Lamorar's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same. Then let's get to analyzing that recording. Right now. Lamorar stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots. I need to stop. It's this part. Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lamorar's vocals. I did hear something faintly there, yes! Why, it sounded like a gunshot! What? It has to be some kind of a mistake. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set. Which means Lamor's testimony was true. Urgh. Order! So, he was telling the truth about what she heard. It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. Well, what did he say? It's over. Press the switch, now. Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescent, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it. But why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon? Lamora was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescent? Ah, once again, I am reminded of something. What? Our performance that day. Your performance? The miscue! I knew there was something to do with that. See, the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Herr Forehead. What is it with today? Problem after problem. Achtung! My Hawk won't start, my guitar case is busted, my guitar's been burned to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And there was that performance just now. What was that all about? This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar. Ah. It was you, Darian! I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well, You what? A prosecutor, Gavin! What are you getting at? I'm talking about the murder weapon. Mr. Latouche's 45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Wait! You mean his playing was affected because he hurt himself during shooting that revolver? Huh, you're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescent? I'm a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm issued to police officers is a 38 caliber weapon. A much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche, which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim. So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean? The thought had occurred to me, yes. Ta-da! Just the fact that the prosecutor said it. Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent! What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey you, attorney. Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on the tape that could be anything. Hey, you have alleged guitar cue missed due to a 45 caliber kickback. I read for this case, Kevin. I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth. The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Percent. Tell us why you couldn't have done it. Okay, proof of innocence. Come on. Why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. It was at Diva's first trip to the country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before? According to our records, yes, not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great, now I need to find a motive.
Motive, huh?
If you want to kill that manager, you want the reason? Easy. I got no motive. This is the Diva's first trip. If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? It's either this statement or the other one. So I am gonna save real quick. I think the biggest motive here is obvious. Objection! Oh my gosh, yes! Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy.
It's not. Don't lick it, please.
Detective Percent, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. Well, you were looking at it for just a sec. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon! Never seen one that color. It is a variety only found in the Republic of Virginia. Nowhere else. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. Latouche. Does it? It does. Wait! I mean, I think it does? You don't sound so confident, man. A cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of. Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative for what? Apparently it is most efficacious at treating a disease through thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Virginia. Whatever for? Yeah. If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering.
Me too. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely.
What? A deadly poison, in fact. What?
There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. It caused quite a commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export, one rigidly enforced by Interpol among others. Interpol. Right! The victim Romain Latouche was an Interpol agent. Detective Percent, you insist on referring to him as a manager. But that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. And he knew this. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball out. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country. That's what you're trying to say?
I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder.
Oh, so I was going to sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny. Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable.
Unthinkable, you say? Why?
Perhaps it's time for another testimony about the smuggling of cocoons business. Okay, new one. International Affairs got a memo about those cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal.
Okay.
Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You could think up the craziest things. But no way am I going to risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky. Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something and I'm going to find out what. Dangerous. Yeah, Interpol finds you. They arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed.
Ain't exactly lucrative, then why was it here? But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices?
Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you can say objection.
Maybe we could get him to cut his hair, too. Who's on trial here again?
Man, you so obviously know nothing about the market.
And that's a bad thing?
Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff.
Which is why you'd know how to find a loophole in the system.
Hey, you can say what you want about me, but back off of international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think you are, Boy Scouts?
That wasn't what I was trying to...
Down, Dorian.
Is that to say? There are no loopholes. At least in this case, in the case of these cocoons. International affairs, Interpol, and Burgundian customs are all watching.
See, we know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that Diva says.
Why, I oughta...
Out of what? You want some of this?
Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah? Screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick. A replica has to be the key to this motive. There's got to be a way to find out what he was up to. Five!
That memo. That's how you knew about those cocoons. Oh, nice one, nice one. I'm running scared now.
You had to know about the cocoons to plan this.
Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I'd never heard of them.
Well, Lamborn knew about them, though not their use. My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control information about the cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export, that's all.
Then I've nothing to be embarrassed about after all. You could say people like me who know about them are a minority, yeah. But that includes everyone in international affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol too, for that matter, yeah.
Do I think Apollo would get his butt kicked? Aw, poor Apollo. So there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Latouche.
All over the world, likely. Deep undercover, most of them. That's why these cocoons are too hot for the black market. You don't want Interpol sniffling through your wares. Most came to the conclusion that...
Okay, what do I say this? Okay, let me check the evidence. Why would he need this? Oh! It's this one. Objection! Yes! It is lucrative if your client is the Chief Justice. I would. I missed the first sentence because I was celebrating. I'm sorry.
How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye.
Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this?
That article! That's about the Chief Justices!
A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis.
Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere.
You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning.
Aha! Why, that's a disease the Chief Justice's son has.
It just took him a second.
You are insane.
Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice.
You are saying the Chief Justice would never deal in contraband.
Not even to save his own son's life?
But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal.
That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck would be the Chief Justice.
Detective Crescent, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler.
How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway?
Distasteful as it is to think about, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why a seller couldn't hope for a better deal? A very cowardly seller.
Don't let sleeves over this trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice? Where's your proof?
Well...
Oh yeah? And you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Ernopol is the only ones out there watching this. Poor Guinean Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out.
So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination.
Guinean Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. But one thing was sent from Burguinia in our evidence, and it was vacuum sealed.
Objection!
Yes! Actually, there is one way.
What?
One way to get something out of the country, no checks.
What is it?
You become a prosecutor.
A prosecutor?
I don't believe it!
You're doing amazing so far?
Aw, thank you. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me about yesterday at your office?
It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamar.
How did it end up here?
I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it.
So this guitar is from Burguinia?
That it is. Couldn't carry it onto the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamar's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me.
Pristine and untouched.
Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin?
Untouched?
Right. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Burguinia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert.
Are you saying that guitar was...
With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Burguinia.
What?
Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right?
Work?
Good memory here, forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort.
Oh! The igniter was inserted before it was vacuum packed! What does that mean?
I'm being too amazing, in your opinion? My hobby is watching streamers suffer in gamer jail. Also, I'm back.
I mean, I don't want to go to gamer jail.
I'm trying my best here.
How? How was it packed in before?
An igniter. Exactly. Consider this, if you will.
What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside the guitar?
You mean? He means this, of course.
Oh!
There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access? Like a member of the band.
Yo!
I don't know how to make that segue to the yo and then the
Order, order, order.
So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Ah, her forehead. At last, it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lammerar's ballad, if you please. Again. First, my keys were stolen. A harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. Oh! Ah, I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping that guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Ah! Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch, now! Oh my god! The guitar burst into flames and the cocoon was lost. And then... Mr. Latouche died. With Lammerar there to witness it. There's your case. Okay. Brilliant, man. Detective Croissant? I gotta know. You make all that up on the fly. For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian. Republic of Burgundy. Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Ha! Let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help, a Burgundian accomplice. That's all! That's why Machi was so nervous about the cocoon! That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lammerar heard proves it. Yes, you signaled someone else. You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it, the coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say now. But be warned, with a great accusation comes a great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice? Machi. Machi, what have you done? There's only one person, and that person is the defendant, Machi Tobai. Look, we're defending him on the charge of murder. We never said anything about defending him for smuggling. I mean, yeah. But Mr. Justice, he's your client. A defense attorney accusing his client? That's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Burgundian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. Does raise a lot of questions, like why did he need all that money and how did he know about the cocoons? I knew that Shifty Kid was a hardened criminal. I mean, every Burgundian knows about the cocoons. He knew more than Lammerar did. And I don't know why he needed the money. He just needed money. Lammerar did say he was an orphan. But what if it was, in fact, Lammerar? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals. Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it is useless. Yes, that's true. Now think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lammerar was in the air vent. Right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. He needed the money to buy the hit video game Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Ba-doom, roll credits. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent. Well, looking at this, it seems that Lemurog still could have done the deed. No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Yeah, the platform! Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and Lamourar stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamourar's position in the air vents. Ah. Well, Detective Crescent, what do you have to say to that? Your Honor. Yes, Detective? Can we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time? Well, I don't see why not. What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. Okay, so right before in the first verse. Too bad, so sad. Punk.
Punk? First you wear sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo.
What exactly were we supposed to see in the video? Problem isn't in what we see, correct, Dorian? Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, Punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered a wee pianist to set up that igniter? Is that right?
Yes?
Well, in order to do that, you'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano.
Piano?
What seems to be the problem there? The piano sound is just fine. And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it? Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You've got a Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the Diva.
Lamourar.
Well, according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Ugh. Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out. If they couldn't even press a switch. Oh gosh, this is not good. How? How do we prove this? Piano plays non-stop. But there must have been a moment in the song where he maybe... He couldn't have pressed that switch. Good thing they've got a ruler to that courtroom on the measuring on the map. Oh my gosh. Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire.
Well...
It's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes.
Apollo, were you wrong?
I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... Strange. What's strange? No, it's just something's odd about the performance there. I knew that kid was innocent of anything this entire time.
Wing it, you just said otherwise!
Odd? Mr. Justice, if Machito Bai didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is. But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice. You got the facts wrong, man. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machito Bai the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined.
I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch.
Well, you better find a way to prove it. Ugh. What do I do? What do I do? There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd.
Wait a second.
What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now?
Oh my gosh, we're really getting a flashback of this. This was literally 3 seconds ago. We're still claiming he's a smuggler, so not everything. Yeah.
So much to go on, but it's all I've got.
What exactly did he hear that was odd? Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Machi to buy? Press that switch. Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machi to buy? Press that switch.
Yes. I think I know.
I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence to supporting this. Hair forehead, you're sure about this? Ha, accept it. There's no evidence, man. Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed that switch?
He missed the cue.
The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor.
I knew that way too fast, holy shit.
Music? What about music? Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame. It was the most obvious. I mean... I hear a piano being played.
But doesn't it sound kind of simple?
Simple?
Ah, I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand?
One hand?
He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other.
Ha! Wait, so you're some kind of piano savant?
Actually, no.
Then what do you know? Can't play a part like that with one hand.
Ugh! Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about here.
Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy.
Yeah, you got something?
Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist, could he?
Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands.
So sorry. So sad for you.
No, not really.
Huh?
That was just the easy way to prove it.
There's always the hard way. Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with one hand or 2?
You can't.
I admit, it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that?
The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd.
What sounded odd?
I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song.
No way. Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand. Right before the guitar burst into flame.
Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire. And one section of the song proves it. One section, okay.
Okay, this is a piano.
Wait a sec. I need to listen to this.
I need to press on the piano.
I don't know. Proof he played one-handed. No, I'm thinking. I'm trying to... You know, I'm being a bad lawyer right now. I'm considering like doing process of elimination. I have enough health. I mean, I have to show the piano part, but in which part? Let's just press on all the parts, shall we? Take that! Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now. Wait, what? Just what it was that sounded odd? Wait, that was correct? Why was that correct? I heard... What? As I'm sure you've realized it yourself here for it. That? Your Honor, I will throw all the spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. Well, the first batch already stuck for Wolf. What? Why? What did you guys realize that I wasn't in on? Realize what? Yes, I am in the judge's chair. I have no idea what they're talking about. I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the "but a fleeting melody" phrase. Oh! Thankfully, the game explained every piece of evidence just for this kind of scenario. Man, how many times do we have to listen to the same thing? I mean, you only listen to half of those, Darian. You even haven't endured the suffering that we have. You're right, enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section! The guitar bursts into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Oh! Pay attention to "all that night in your embrace." Oh! This one is more complicated than the second verse. That's why you have to press the first one and not the second one. Ah, but play verse 2 again. Yeah. There's less variety in the notes. There, did you hear that? They feel the same truth, but they're clearly very different. What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use 2 hands to play that for sure. Ah. What's that proof? I would think you'd know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the 2 verses had different arrangement. Happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. Yeah, he made the song, Darian! He would know! There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had it played specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Oh. That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself.
Now ask yourself why Mashi changed how he played. And there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. No!
Okay, that's good. Now I need to scrape the spaghetti off the wall before I get out of here. Aw. It's with tomato sauce too. That's horrible.
Order. I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin.
Yes, quite. Though, personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? Can't believe it! I finally did it! I shut him up!
He is finally quiet. Very well, barring an objection from the prosecution. I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Good show, slaves. No, great show.
It's not over? I don't like it when he looks so happy.
You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing.
Personally, I'm terribly disappointed.
In you, Hair Forehead.
What? Hey! It's because of me that he's even on the stand!
Huh?
Me?
Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence.
Yeah, but the fact... Anyone can see it was him!
Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it.
But...
1,000 facts may point towards the same conclusion. But without decisive evidence, it's not proof.
Seriously, Judge?
That's the rule under our current legal system.
I don't believe it.
It does not seem as though the defense have any more evidence to present. Oh, I think if we did, we already would have seen it a long ways back. It is unfortunate. But at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation.
What? This is BS! The truth is staring us all right in the face! Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said.
It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. So what do? Like I said, good luck. Ugh. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods.
Conventional methods? Ugh.
Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off.
I wonder what they meant by every man's igniter.
We have to make it so he confesses himself.
I think he just meant a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion.
Exactly.
I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal.
So, can I get back to work now or what? It may look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney. Did Phoenix tell us to set him on fire? Well, I guess him these must get the light. I don't think that's what he meant. Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Every man has an igniter.
Huh?
Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin?
Ah, yes. Good guitars are kept dry, is why. That provides the best sound.
Even a small spark could cause irreplaceable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning.
What? Fine time, Justice. If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good.
Go for it, Apollo!
What, and this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Hair Forehead, you are accusing this man, Darian Crescent, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latus and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. This trial has already run on for far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor. Oh, I'm scared.
Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darian Crescent. Okay, this is really my last chance. The key to that will take apart Darian's consent's plan is we don't have evidence. So we have to call a witness. Call a witness! Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So what is? It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence. But perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order. But I've got just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt? His accomplice! If he talks, it's over for him. They will bring him down together. The one person that will bring him down is the defendant Machi Tobai. Your client again. Machi Tobai was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. How so? It will require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latus was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Burguinia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would, no doubt, also find inside the burned out guitar. Aha, very scientific of you. Thus, if Machi Tobai acknowledges his agreement with Darian Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of a Burgundian cocoon, the case is solved!
Darian's laughing again.
Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to kid me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about? Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Burgundian law. Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? It's the other way around? If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he is in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he will be tried here and not in Burguinia. Then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. Ah. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Burguinia. And they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today. Including the part about the Burgundian cocoon. Yeah, but if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Burgundian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here. Not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machi Tobai. Ugh. The cocoon smuggling. Your entire plan. Machi Tobai knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him. And that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Huh? What? Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. Oh, he's talking to Machi. I'll set you up someplace. In a mansion. Real nice. You want a house made out of cookies? Oh no, a house made out of pianos. Come on. Please. Don't talk! He admitted it! Darian, I consider that my last session with you. Re-rocked. Awesome! What kind of haircut is that? Oh, hi, Hunter. It's a very weird haircut. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession?
Uh-oh, he's laughing again.
There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. We got him! Well, have you been listening to today's trial?
Yes.
And you'll talk. You tell this court everything.
You have to. I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know? I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew. From beginning, I knew. Machi, this situation I cannot explain. But money, I needed. Very much money.
Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However,
it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by his standard.
Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tobai.
Yes?
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges of the murder of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict.
Oh, he's smiling! And he has we can actually see his eyes now. I thank you. I only lie. But you find the truth. You find truth.
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant Machi Tobai
not guilty! Yay! Oh my gosh! Oh, that was great!
That was a good trial. Court is adjourned.
Good job, us. Good job, me. Good job, Judge's Chair. July 10th, 4:42 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. I wonder what'll happen to Machi. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Burguinia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Good job, Ace Attorney, to me. Thank you very much. Oh, hi, Phoenix. Daddy! I owe you both my thanks. Lamorar? My, is something wrong? I'm sorry, Machi was your partner on stage, your friend. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now, I do, yet. Something got a hold of him. Something evil, I see that. Good job, Mia Justice Ace. Thank you. I have a last name now. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I am considering an eye operation. Oh, really? It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. According to the doctor, Lamora lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared. You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth. If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting. Oh! Painting? That's right, she's the landscape painter in sound after all. I will paint the two of you, I promise. Oh! I will be honored to! Woohoo! I can't wait, Lemuror! I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? Remind me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission. Apollo, Trucy. I hope that we'll meet again someday soon. You bet! Me too! was a very happy ending. And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the guitar serenade was a huge hit. Of course! Of course it was! Prosecutor Gab was even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Oh, really? Next time you write a ballad, have to catch the killer at the end. Ah. I mean, Juicy finished it, but... oh my gosh, I'm just imagining, like... what if Apollo wanted to say, like, next time you write a ballad, write it about me next time. No. Oh, no. Oh my gosh. Okay. Congrats, yay! It is still pretty early. But then again, I still have stuff to do. So this is a good point to end, but it's still a bit early. What if the next case is longer? Because it were 4 cases. This will probably be an investigation segment that will take up an hour, and that will be too much. Almost 3 hours, yeah. It's still a pretty good length for a stream. It's going to be a different length than all the others, but I don't care. And I think I'm gonna quit for today. It was a nice ending. And there we go. That was it. We caught a rock star as a killer. We caught a criminal. Having a break is allowed, I think. I think it's a good point to end the stream too. Yeah. It was a nice ending. So next time, we're gonna we're gonna solve a new case, the final one. Because there are 4 cases in the Pile of Justice. Wait a sec. I'm now looking at the menu. Oops, that was not my intention. I am very sorry. Oh, that was not my intention. I am very sorry. I'm looking at the case of Dual Destinies and it's like 6 cases. I am so screwed. Anyway. After that funk, I will need to leave immediately. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I will see you next Friday for the new case. Bye-bye.